So the product is FE01. Out of this FE01, the lower byte is 01, right? And the upper byte is FE. Is this visible, or should I increase the size? Okay. The lower byte is 01, upper byte is FE. So this 01 will be copied into A, and FE will be copied into B. After execution of this multiply AB, initially A will be FF, B will also be FF. If you multiply, product will be FE01. So 01 will be copied into A, and FE will be copied into B. Okay, so this is the way the multiplication instruction will be executed. So suppose you are asked to multiply two 8-bit numbers. So those numbers will be in some memory location, just like we have done for addition, right? So those numbers will be in some memory location, and that memory location, if it is given that the memory locations are 20H and 21H. Suppose one number is at 20H, okay, certain number. So this example I took for the maximum possible case, right? So we can take other numbers also and try. So this is just to show that maximum 16 bits are enough for us. So A and B will be the registers while the product will be stored. Okay. So 20H and 21H. If the numbers are in 20H and 21H, you are asked to multiply them and store the product in 22H and 23H. Okay. So in that case, what you can do is, suppose this is the number, that number, it could be anything. Okay, we will see that later. So how we will start? So here we'll have the program. Yeah. So we will start with the same thing like we have done for addition and subtraction programs. So we will use indirect addressing mode. So this address 20H should be copied into one of the registers, either R0 or R1. When you use indirect addressing mode, you can use only R0 or R1. So I will use R0, move R0, comma, hash 20H, right? So what this will do, 20H, immediate data 20H will be copied into R0. Then I want to copy the contents of the memory location that is pointed by 20 into my A, right? I have to copy that to A. So what I will do is move A, comma, at R0. So what this will do, the contents of R0 that is copied into A. Suppose that content is say 42. Okay, suppose that is 42. Then what happens? In hexadecimal, okay, whatever the contents we have here, it will be in hexadecimal anyway. So 42 means what? 42 in binary, it will be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, right? It will be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. It is converting it to, okay. Then we will have a 21 and another number, say 64. Okay. Is it okay? No, we will take some odd number. 67. Okay. So this 67 in binary, it will be 0, 1, 1, 0. Sorry, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay. So binary, simply I'm writing, even if you do not write this, it's fine. Just to make you understand that how it is stored in the memory location. It is stored in bits, right? 42 in the sense 4 is 0100, 2 is 0010. So it's hexadecimal 42. 67 is 0110, 0111. So then I have got the contents of 20H, that is 42 in A. Okay, so that is the first operand. 42 is the first operand. Next 67 is in next memory location. So next memory location is 21H, right? So now my R0 is pointing at 20. I have to increment that R0. Now R0 will point to 21, right? When I write increment R0, R0 will be pointing to 21. So what I can write is, yeah, then R0 is 21. I want to copy the contents of R0 into B, right? The contents of R0 into another register B. So now one operand is in A, another operand is in B. Is it right? So R0 is 21. If I write move B, comma, at R0, But there is, yeah, b comma at r naught. What happens? Contents of 21, that is 67, will be copied into b. A is 42, b is 67. I have to just multiply. Okay, I have to just multiply them by writing mul AB. There is no comma in multiply instruction. In multiply or divide instruction, there is no comma. It's just a single instruction, mul AB. Similarly, divide instruction is divide AB. No other operands are allowed. Okay, only A and B. Mul AB means now the product will be calculated or it will be processed, and the product will be stored in A and B. The lower byte of the product will be stored in A, and the upper byte of the product will be stored in B. So my numbers are 42 and 67. So in hexadecimal, if I multiply 42 with 67, I will get 1A8E. Okay, so answer will be 1A8E. So I did it using Calci. So 1A8E. In this, 8E will be the lower byte that will be stored in A. Okay, 8E is stored in A, 1A is stored in B. So now from that A, I have to copy that to 22H. That is, this is the destination, right, where I have to store the result. So 8A has to be copied into, I mean, the whatever the contents of register A, that have to be copied into 22H. To do that, now my R0 is pointing at 21. I have to make the R0 point to the next memory location, that is 22, right? So I have to increment R0 again, increment R0. Now my R0 is pointing to 22. So from A, I have to move to 22. So just move at R0, comma A. Okay, so move at R0, comma A. So this is Excel, right? So it will be considering it as a function. So move at R0, comma A. What happens here is contents of A is copied into the contents of R0. That means in 22H. So what is the content of A? It would be 8E. So 8E is copied into 22. Now I want 1A to be copied into 23. 1A is there in B. After multiplication, upper byte will be stored in B. So I have to store it in 23H, the next memory location. So next memory location means I have to increment my R0 again. Now R0 will be pointing to 23H. Then perform the same thing. So instead of move at R0, comma A, I'll be writing move at R0, comma B. That's all. So this is the way, you can multiply any two numbers from any memory location. You can multiply them and store the result in any required memory location. So here, we are using this R0 and incrementing because we are given that the what is that? The operands are in successive memory location, and the result should also be stored in the successive memory locations, right? But every time it need not be the case, right? Sometimes, you might be asked like to multiply two numbers. One number is present in say 30H. The other number is present in some random 54H. Okay. So in these two addresses, you have the numbers. If you are asked to multiply, so directly you can take it like move A, comma 30H. It will copy the contents of 30H into A. Move B, comma 54H. It will copy the contents of 54H into B. Right? Without hash, if you take, it will be direct addressing. So whatever the contents you have in 30H will be copied into A. Right? If you write move A, comma 30H. Then if you write move B, comma 54H, the contents of 54H will be copied into B. Then do mul AB. Right? So the product will be found and it will be stored in A and B. Then you can store it in whichever locations you want, right? Whatever is asked. So based on the problem statement or the question, you need to write the programs. Okay. So in division, the instruction is divide, div. Okay, divide AB, div AB. So what this will do is it will divide A by B, and the quotient will be stored in A and the remainder will be stored in B. Okay, the quotient will be stored in A and the remainder will be stored in B. Here, okay, So A is a 8-bit register, B is also an 8-bit register. So when you divide 8-bit by another 8-bit number, the quotient will be maximum 8 bits, right? It cannot be more than that. Suppose, you know, A is FF and B is 1, you know, the minimum number is 1. If you divide FF by 1, the quotient will be FF, right? If you divide maximum number, if you divide 100 by 1, the quotient will be 100. Remainder will be 0 anyway. Okay. For the remainder also, the maximum possible value will be again 8-bit number, right? So when you divide an 8-bit number by another 8-bit number, you can have an 8-bit quotient and 8-bit remainder. So that 8-bit quotient is stored in register A and 8-bit remainder will be stored in register B. Okay. So that is the fixed thing in division. You cannot have any other operands. You can perform division only on A and B. So A divided by B, it will perform A divided by B, and the quotient will be stored in A, remainder will be stored in B. Okay. So with this, you know, once you get the thing, you can take it to any other register or any other memory location. But by default, it will use registers A and B. Fine. So suppose you are asked to divide two numbers. You take some numbers like 42 divided by 2. Okay, 2 means 0 2. So what should be the answer? 42 by 2 should give you 21, isn't it? 42 by 2, 21. And what will be the remainder? The remainder will be 0, right? So we will take something which gives you remainder. To take 45. If you take 45 divided by 2, quotient will be 22, remainder will be 1. So now I don't know what this is. We will have these numbers in 20 and 21. So we will take, yeah, 22.5 is the quotient, right? Okay, 22.5 means it can take only integer value. The quotient means only 21. This 0.5 will be considered only if it's of a fractional part. But what we have in our registers, they are all integer values, right? The hexadecimal versions of it, not floating point. Yeah. So 22 will be stored in the as the quotient, and the remaining thing, that will be 1. In case of dividing by 2, remainder will always be 1, not more than that, right? So that 1 will be stored in the next memory location. So what we have is all the things are same except the divide instruction. In multiplication and divide programs, everything is same except the divide instruction. So all this it's not needed to explain, right? Here what we are doing is contents of 20H is copied into A, right? First you are loading 20H into R0, move A, F R0. The contents of 20H is copied into A. Then increment R0 so that R0 points to 21H. Then move B, at R0. So this 2 will be copied into B. Then write divide AB. Divide AB will divide register A by register B. Okay, and store the quotient in A and remainder in B. Now my quotient is 22. Okay, 22 will be stored in A and 1 will be stored in B. So I want to copy that 22 into next memory location. So 22H will become 22. Okay, it's a coincidence here. Then increment R0 to point it to 23, right? At 23, you store what you have in B. In B, what do you have now? You have 0 1, 0 1H, right? 0, yeah, 0 1, because it's an 8-bit number. You need to write it as an 8-bit number. So this will be the result of division, quotient in lower memory than remainder in the higher memory location. This is the way you're going to store it. Okay, you know, in fact, this will be given in the question, like divide two numbers which are at 20 and 21H and store the result in 22 and 23H. Okay, so that way it can be asked. Okay, so anyway, all these things are there in the program. These are actually very old. I had done this when I used to take microcontrollers some 3 years back. Okay, finally I had created these tables and all with comments so that it will be easy for the students to write the algorithms. So, you know, in your lab programs, you need to, in your journals, you need to write the algorithm and then the program. Okay. So we have seen multiplication and division. It's Just the difference of multiplication and divide instruction. Rest all things are same. So here the operation is clear, right? Jump if no carry. Yeah, that I will tell you. See the okay. Here what we are doing is you are subtracting two numbers. One is at 20H, the other one is at 21H, right? The one whichever is there in 20H, we are copied into A. Whichever was there in 21H, we have copied. We are subtracting it, right? Okay. We are incrementing R0. Now R0, this operand will be having the contents at 21H. We are using subtraction instruction. So A minus that thing. A will have contents at 20H and this will have the contents of 21H. We are performing that subtraction and the result will be stored in A. Now the result is in A, right? So now the carry will occur whenever you are subtracting a larger number from a smaller number. If you subtract a larger number from a smaller number, there will be a carry, and whatever the answer you get, the contents of A will be in 2's complement form. Okay, so whatever the number you have, it will be in 2's complement form. Okay, suppose just assume that the answer was positive. In that case, you check the carry. If there is no carry, you go to skip. That means you do nothing. You do nothing in the sense, if there is carry, you need to store FFH in the higher bits, higher order bits. That is because FFH means all ones. If the MSB is 1, it will indicate negative number, right? If the MSB is 1, it will indicate a negative number. So when a negative number can happen, do you remember the numbers that I gave yesterday? 42 minus 54. If I subtract 42 minus 54, if I simply subtract 54 minus 42, answer would be 12, right? 12 means it will be storing 0001, 0010. Sorry, it will be storing 0001, 0010. Suppose you are subtracting 42 minus 54, the answer will be minus 12. So how do you write minus 12? Minus 12 is actually the 2's complement of this number. What is the 2's complement of this number? You find 1's complement and add 1 to it. So if you add 1 to this, you'll get 1110, 1110. So what is 1110, 1110? It will be EE, right? It will be EE if it is an 8-bit number. But what if it is a 16-bit number? If it is 16-bit number, in the higher, this is lower order 8-bit. In the higher order 8-bit, you should have again all ones, 1111, 1111, right? So all ones in the higher order 8-bit. So this is the total number. That is 1111, 1111 will be FF, right? So my total number is FFEE. But when I perform this thing, in my A, I will have only EE and the carry flag will be set. So if the carry flag is set, it will indicate it is a negative number. So in the higher order memory location, in the higher order location of the result, I have to store FFH just to indicate that it is a negative number. Okay, so if there is no carry, then you just skip. It will be 0 anyway. You just leave it as it is. The higher order, you know, in this case, the answer will be 12, means the higher order bit will be left as 00. Okay, no need of changing anything. It will be 0. But if it is minus 12, if it is minus 12, you need to change this higher order location into FFH just to indicate it is a negative number, because in negative number, the MSBs will be ones, right? So this will indicate minus 12. Right? Is it clear? So you are storing FFH in the higher order location. That is 20, 21, 22. In 23, in memory location 23, we are going to store FF to indicate a negative number. So we have studied all these number representations in CO, right? So I told you it is very important to understand it. So it is useful in all these subjects like microprocessor, microcontroller and all.